Welcome back to the best time of the year in the Big 12 and in college basketball. March Madness edition of Inside the 12. I'm Pete Souza in Big 12 Studios. King McClure live from the T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. Heading into the Phillips 66 Big 12 tournament this week, the conference named their award winners for this season. No surprise to you, King McClure, JT Toppin takes home Player of the Year. 18.1 points a game, 10.3 rebounds, and a whole lot of enthusiasm and energy. He's been the heartbeat of this Texas Tech team, King.
He's been absolutely phenomenal, and it's the consistency in which he plays with game in, game out. And you know what you're going to get from him. He's a double-double machine. I saw a crazy stat that said there's only been like 3 guys who have had 30 and 10 more than 3 times in this league, and it was JT Toppin, Kevin Durant, and Michael Beasley. I mean, that right there, you're in great hands. That is great company. And JT Toppin consistently produces, and he's a dog every single time he steps on the floor. He's probably had one of the best seasons we've seen in the past few years.
What's been the most unique skill of his that you have seen throughout the season and has been on this display again in the Big 12?
You know, what's interesting is, like, everybody knows what he wants to do. He doesn't really overcomplicate the game. He keeps it very simple. He loves getting to his left-hand hook, getting to that right shoulder. Everybody tries to take it away, but it's so hard to take it away because Jeff Linder, a guy in which runs the offense, comes from Wyoming, the head coach. He runs the offense for Texas Tech. He does a tremendous job of putting JT Toppin in situations where he can thrive.
Yeah, the player development in the Big 12, second to none across the conference. And one of the big reasons why coaches like this, as we get to our Coach of the Year, where we go across the state of Texas, no surprise here. That's right, Big 12 regular season champs, the Houston Cougars. Coach of the Year, Kelvin Sampson, winning his second straight, 27-4 overall, 19-1 in the Big 12. King, can you describe how special that is?
I mean, I think that when you look at this team, they find ways to win, especially on the road. And I think that's a true testament to the culture that Kelvin Sampson has created, but also to the players, to the veteran leadership that he has. I mean, you don't go into Kansas, you don't go into some of the environments that you go into and win road games without veteran leaders. You know, guys like L.J. Cryer, Jerron Roberts. I mean, these guys know how to win when the game gets tough, and I think that's the most impressive thing. No matter how tough the game is, no matter what the score is, they always believe that they can win, and Kelvin Sampson has instilled that into them, and I think that they have as good of a chance as anybody in the country to win a national championship, but you hope Jerron Roberts is okay and he will be 100% for the tournament.
And you don't have to look far or travel far to find the Defensive Player of the Year. JoJo Tugler, what does he do for Houston that makes them stand out defensively?
Everything, Pete. This young man does everything on the defensive side, man. His ability to be able to impact you at the rim, on ball screens, when you come off the ball screen and he hard hedges. I mean, his wingspan is crazy, so he's able to get deflections, get his hands on basketballs that typically most bigs wouldn't be able to do. I mean, when he gets back, you know, when he comes off the hard hedge and he gets back to his big, you know, the defense does a really good job of loading up. But Tugler gets back and he sprints. He's always at a full sprint. If you ever watch him on the defensive side, right, you would never be standing still. He's always moving at 100 miles an hour, which is why he gets in foul trouble a lot. But JoJo Tugler easily should have won Defensive Player of the Year because of its impact. Incredible.
All right, somebody who has the same approach is our actual Freshman of the Year, VJ Edgecombe. He has been amazing for Baylor all year long, almost won him the game. Yesterday, as time expired, he's usually the guy with the ball in his hands at big moments. Your thoughts on VJ Edgecombe? Not only, obviously, the expectations were so high for him this year, but how has he developed and actually exceeded those expectations?
You know, I think the biggest difference for VJ, and I think that what was really a game changer for him, was his ability to shoot it from deep. I mean, that was the concern coming into the season. You know, we knew how dynamic he was in transition, like getting to the rim, his athleticism. He was a freak, probably one of the most athletic players that's coming in this draft. But I was concerned about his shooting, and he showed plenty of times, especially in conference, not early on, but in conference, he's shown that he can really, really shoot the basketball, and it's not a fluke. It's a consistent thing. And the way that I know it is because it's not necessarily just a catch and shoot, a spot-up shot where you're in rhythm, your feet are set, and you're just letting it fly. Coach Drew runs him off staggers, runs him off pin downs. He can turn his toe and get his feet set. And I think that's what shows that he can actually be a consistent shooter on the next level.
And he's shown he's so coachable, too. Another guy extremely coachable. And I got to ask you now, you got to keep this tight. We don't have a ton of time, and I know he's one of your favorites. Richie Saunders, 9 points a game last year. This year, 19 points a game, right? One of the best players in the Big 12. What have you saw about him that's enabled him to make this huge leap?
Man, I could talk about Richie Rich all day, but I'm a huge fan of his, and it's just his ability to be so effective at all times and be very efficient with his dribbles. Like we talked about Toppin not overcomplicating the game. Same thing with Richie Rich Saunders. And my man's 1-2 dribble, straight line driver, can knock it down from deep. I mean, he can do a plethora of things on the court that he wasn't asked to do last year, but he's gained this confidence under Kevin Young, and the kid is so special, and I'm going to continuously say and continuously reiterate, he's an NBA player.
By the way, if you've noticed about being a pro, King McClure is channeling his energy burst. He's been using that voice all week long, and he's got to call 2 more games tonight and then the championship game. So, I mean, the fact that we're even getting a slice of you this morning or this afternoon is appreciated. We're going to step aside. Don't, King, you go anywhere. When we return, we're going to talk women's hoops with our Big 12 expert, insider, analyst, Rachel Galligan. She was there for every single blow as far as the women's tournament was concerned. We're coming back with Rachel.